welcome to episode 5 of Create Astral. So, since the last episode, I've done a little bit of work, and I made this thing. What this is it's just a big sand machine. It's basically what I was doing with this thing, as well as these millstones, but now it's automated. So if we go up to the top of it, we see that there's just the same cobblestone generator. It's a little bit more neat than the previous one. And then it works its way down. It goes down a chute into this first millstone. It gets milled up into gravel. Then that gets milled up into sand. And then we end up with sand here. I've also been using this to then wash into clay, so I can start building bricks. It's very slow, but it's a process at least. It's something. I've got more clay cooking up here, so hopefully we can actually build some walls to this factory eventually. The other thing that I did was I made a rubber tree farm. Last time we got some rubber trees, we got some rubber, or we got some sap, and then we turned it into rubber. But this is what this actual thing is going to be. You'll notice it has a bigger windmill than that thing, because I think we're going to need more rubber. It's also moving a lot faster. However, we have not done everything that I want to do with this yet, because I want this chest here to be able to deposit the rubber tree logs into a different chest so that it doesn't have to constantly spin around. Eventually, what I also want this to do is self-deploy any other trees, but I think that's a little bit farther down the tech tree line than what we can do right now. So, the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to make an interface. So we're going to need andesite casing and a chute. Chutes are pretty easy. I'm pretty sure I have some because I used some to build that thing. So let's go over to our create stuff box. There aren't any in there. We do have some casings here. And we have one chute. Okay, that's fine. I think we probably will need another one. But let's see how many things this makes. Just the one, okay. I was kind of hoping that there was a quest for it, and it looks like there might be, but it's down here, which we would need belts for first, which we aren't going to make yet. That's fine. So what we do is we are going to stick this on the end of this. We're going to stick this onto this chest here. We're going to hopefully be able to rotate it so it's facing the right direction. There we go. And then I think we need to put our second one just a little bit offset from this, I think. I haven't actually used one of these before, so we're going to find out. Let me go make another one. Okay, we now have a second one. So I believe this is 1 spot, 2 spots, 3 spots, and I'm just going to make a pillar here just to keep it easy. But this is going to go here, chest goes here, and then the interface goes here. We're going to rotate it so that it hopefully faces the right direction. Keep going. There we go. So I think if we now turn this on. Oh, I forgot to glue it on. Let's let it rotate back. Forgot that we have to glue them together. So if we glue this onto there, then we activate this. Do you see how those two things stuck together for a second? That is what it does, and it transfers the stuff into that chest, which we'll eventually have to make look better, but for right now I just want it to work. So it connects there, and then it continues on. So I'm going to make it day, and then we're going to actually set up some rubber trees and see it in action. So I sped up the process using some bone meal. I also added some chutes into another chest, so it's a little bit easier to get to. But what we should see is this thing's going to cut this down, It should then have put the materials in there. It's going to suck it in, and it didn't look like it transferred anything. That's not ideal. I really need to put a ladder up to this thing, so I don't have to do any sort of jumping. Okay, well, it's in there. How do I get it out? I thought it just needed to be attached like that. Give me a second to try to figure that out. So it looks like from pondering it, we might need to build a funnel to get them out of there, which should be fine. I think we can make an andesite funnel. Let's just check how we do so. We need andesite, alloy, and some rabber. I cannot say any of these create terms. And whatever I said with alloy and rabber apparently now. Either way, that's easy enough to build. Let's make one of those. One of those. This is actually good because I'm going to need some funnels later. Then I think I'll need to build up a little thing like this, like that, because I don't want these stuff to just shoot out the side. Let's turn this off for a second. Oh, hello, tree. Can I get over there? Yes. Let's take that out. One funnel goes here. I want it not importing, I want it exporting. And let's turn this back on and see what it does. So for a start, it's going to cut down this tree. That's good. And there we go. Now it's interfacing. We can already see the stuff falling through the chute into the chest. That is exactly what we wanted it to do. Now, when it does that, you'll notice that they stay connected until the inventory is cleared out. And then it should start moving again. Perfect. So this is pretty much set. The only thing I need to do every once in a while is replenish the trees. And for now I'm going to do that by hand. Eventually we'll have a machine that does that for us. But we're not quite to that step yet. We can take these and hopefully not get cut in half. Now the reason that we want to do this is we can take the logs and we can take them over to one of our grindstones, and then we can actually grind these up to make more rubber. So if we chuck all these in here, that's going to get ground up, and I don't know if it's a 100% chance, but it'll make the sap, which we then put in the mixer to get the rubber. So that is fantastic. So the next thing that we're going to build is we're actually going to make another one of these machines, but slightly shorter, because its purpose is going to be to make gravel. This will also let me show you how I made this thing, what the basic concept of it is, besides just running through what it looks like. So to start with, we're going to need to dig a hole, and we're going to put it just right next to this. I do want to make sure that looks the same roughly. So from our hole, you can see in the back here, we need basically an 8 wide sort of thing. So we can use just some deep slate right now to mark it out. That's going to be there. Then our hole, that's going to be the other side. So let's dig our hole here. And now that we have our hole dug, we're going to stick in 2 water wheels. Just like that. Then we need to get these powered, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to get down there afterwards. So we'll steal some water from over here. Put in the first one. Ooh, I almost actually forgot we need to put in some sort of block here. We'll just use dirt. I can always go back and make this look nicer later. So we'll power it once. And then we'll power it again. Like so. And then our chest is going to go, I believe, one in front. It goes on the dirt, yes. So this is going to go there. On top of that, we put our millstone. Actually, no, let's put a chute. Then on top of that goes our millstone. That's a sandwich. Apparently we're going to stand up here, put that on there. And then we put another chute. Like so. So that's the basic idea of what we need to do. The last thing we need to do is put another cobblestone generator on top of that, as well as the drill. So I'm going to set that up. You've seen me do that before. I'll come back after that's done. So I finished building the outside. What I almost forgot to do is actually set up the power. So what we need is we need some shafts, which apparently I don't have in my inventory. So let's go grab some. And basically all we do is we stick a shaft here, we stick another one here, we stick a small cog onto the end of that, and then here we need some gearboxes, which I do have, but not in my inventory. And apparently not in that chest, or that chest. Apparently they're all in here. Now, I think the way I did this is I needed 3 of them. And I think they all need to be vertical ones. We're also going to need a little bit of dirt scaffolding here. So let's do that. And then these all need to be vertical, so we're going to stick one on like so. Then we have one back here. We have one back here. And then we can put the drill on like so. And that's going to start drilling. The last thing we need is lava. So I'm going to go find some lava, and then this should be pretty much done. Outside of maybe some of the copper detailing. So I got my lava. Let's head up to the top of our gravel machine. This goes here. And there we go. So this is making cobblestone. And we should see that drop down into the mill once it's broken. It's grinding up. And then we should see that drop into this chest as some gravel. Let's wait for that just to make sure. It is going very slowly, but that's because we have like 2 water wheels powering it, and that's it. And maybe we get gravel. Perfect. So that is one more machine done. Let's add some of the finishing touches. And these go here. And now this looks nice. Now it's got a little bit of detail on it. It's got the ladder. It's just the same thing but smaller. So there's one last thing that I want to make for this episode, and that is a kelp farm. Our short-term goal is to make a brick factory, which if you look over there, you might have noticed in the background there's some more stuff over there. I think I even have some water wheels ready to go. But that's going to be a whole factory that is only dedicated to bricks. I also don't know if I've shown off this lovely half of a bridge. The other half I haven't put in because I want to extend this building this way eventually, but that'll be like super late game. So let's make a kelp farm. Okay, so I think I've gotten just about everything ready that we need, other than the actual kelp, but I can get that from the river, to make our kelp farm. So the first thing that we're going to need that we don't already know how to do is we're going to need to make some mechanical harvesters. So if we type in harvester, we can see what this requires. I have those things. I should actually have enough for 3 of them, because I need 3 of them. The other thing that we need is going to be using these things, and that is going to be a rotational... Is it not a rotational chassis? It's radial chassis, that's what it's called. And we actually have 3 of those, which is fantastic. So, I believe we have everything we need. So, let's go over to where the kelp farm is going to be. You can probably see it over there. And it occurs to me we might actually need to unpower this for the time being until we get it fully sorted. That way it doesn't just start automatically moving while we're trying to do stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to stick down our mechanical bearing. Yes. Then we take a radial chassis, we stick it on there, and what should happen is that when this thing starts moving, once we glue it all together, actually, does it even need to glue? No, it just does it automatically. Cool. It'll just rotate. Then we're going to take some oak logs, we're going to attach them like this, we're going to strip the logs, and we're going to attach our mechanical harvesters to the front. Now these are kind of cool looking. This isn't the direction that I wanted these logs facing. I wanted them facing this way. Cool. So that should be like that. Then we'll need a chest, which we can get in a second. We'll also need another portable storage interface, like we had earlier, and we're going to rotate that around so it's facing outside. Now what I'm not sure about is if this thing will deploy such that it can go through glass, but we're going to try it and see what happens. We're going to set it up, the other one here, and then we're going to again rotate it so it's facing the right direction. We're going to stick a funnel under there, which I don't have yet. I don't have a chute. Actually, no, I specifically need a funnel, don't I? So let's go get a funnel and some more chests. So for the item depositing, we'll have this here. We're going to make another little column of stuff around this so that nothing can escape. And in here is where our chest is going to go. So the chest, theoretically, should go not there, but here. And then we have a funnel on top, or a chute, like so. I think we need to keep that there so that it does the thing. Of course, we're one short, because why wouldn't we? That's fine. Let's continue on. Then we take some barrels, we're going to stick them like that. That should be the storage. And now, I believe we just have to glue all of this together. So let's glue these things like that. And then let's glue these things like that. The final thing that I think we need to do is somewhere on here. There should be a way to limit how far this goes. I don't see that option, because we don't want it to move the entire thing, unless it's not going to happen, because we have only glued the certain things together. Oh, okay. No, that works perfectly. Except that these things are not spinning, and it's spinning the wrong way. Am I going to get pushed out of the way? Yes. Let's go up here for a sec. How do I rotate this the other way? I guess I just have to put the water on the other side. That's fine. Classic method of troubleshooting. So let's put the water here. And yes, that works. Okay. We can close that up. Let's get out of the way. And you'll notice that these things are now actually spinning. So let's see if it connects there. Yes, it can connect through the glass. That is perfect. Cool. So the last thing that we need to do then is we need to fill this entire thing full of water and, of course, kelp. So I'll be back after I've done that, and we'll see if the entire thing actually works the way it's supposed to. So I've got just about all the kelp placed. I accidentally double stacked a couple of them, and oh, I can like ride around on this. But it accidentally harvested a couple that I just like double placed those twice as tall as it needed to be. But I think that this is working. So let's check here. I should have at least a couple. I don't yet. Are these in the barrel? No. Oh, they're in this barrel. So why are these not deploying this time? Because it's definitely in there. Well, I guess I can use these for the time being, as long as they don't get dragged around by this machine. To just fill in the rest of those. Because there are a couple spots that don't have one. So for example, that one is tall enough. That should get harvested, right? Yep. But then it's not. Oh, I just noticed what the issue is. This thing's pointing inwards again. Let's have this pointing outwards. This should then connect for longer than a second. And now we have kelp. Okay, perfect. So we now have our kelp farm up and running. You know, I'm going to leave this here because it's a little nice step up to get here. I'm just going to stick that there. But the kelp farm is up and running, which means we can now cook the kelp, which means we can now make belts, which is exactly what I need to make the final thing that we need before we can maybe look at doing some other stuff, which is make our brick factory. Either way, this episode's probably long enough, so I'm going to leave it there. If you liked, enjoy, that was a sentence. Can you tell it's like almost 11 o'clock when I'm recording this? If you enjoyed, make sure to hit like and subscribe. That helps out. And feel free to leave a comment. Tell me what you think of these 3 things that we made today.